Let's say we have a shelter and we have one cage in it. Let's say that our intake adoption rate is of 1 cat per week and our length of stay is 1 week. Now, of course, if we want to avoid piling up cats in our shelter, our intake rate can't exceed our adoption rate. We'll have them equal for this example. On week 1, a cat comes in and stays for a week. Then he gets adopted and is replaced by another cat that also stays for a week, and so on. That 1 cage is enough, given our length of stay. In 8 weeks, we will have helped 8 cats. Now let's say that we still have the same intake adoption rates, but our length of stay has doubled and is now 2 weeks. On week 1, a cat comes in, but since the length of stay is now 2 weeks, he won't leave at the end of the first week. He will only find an adopter at the end of the second week. So we need another cage in that shelter, because there's another cat coming in the second week. We need 2 cages with a length of stay of 2 weeks, not just 1. We also need more litter boxes, more bowls, more employees, or more volunteers as we add to our number of cages. In those same 8 weeks, we will have adopted out the same amount of cats as before, 8 cats, but it has taken us more resources to do so. Let's look at it differently. If we only have space for 1 cage in our shelter and our length of stay is 3 weeks, well, after 3 weeks, we will have helped only that 1 cat, and he was here for 3 weeks. If instead our length of stay were 1 week, then by week 3, we would have helped 3 cats with that same single cage. We have the same amount of cages, the same amount of resources, but we're able to help more animals because our length of stay is shorter. So given that you don't store cats, meaning your intake rate equals or is lesser than your adoption rate, the amount of cages you need is simply equal to your intake adoption rate times your length of stay. If your intake adoption rate is of 5 cats per week and your length of stay is 3 weeks, it means you need 5 times 3, 15 cages. Let's look at what that flow-through looks like. That's a lot of resources needed to house, feed, treat, and care for all these cats. So to sum it up, the best thing you can do to help as many cats as possible is to decrease your length of stay, because that's how you're going to save the most cats with the least amount of resources possible. We all love to be around many animals, but don't let your love of being around animals get in the way of your ability to help more cats. Bring your length of stay down.